Dunnage. The primary dunnage material used in the transport of steel cargoes is wood. Numbers, dimensions, and arrangement of the dunnage is largely dependent upon the weight, dimension, and contact area of the cargo. These arrangements must be discussed and mutually agreed by the master and charterer shipper prior to loading the cargo. However, under any circumstances, dunnage wood should always be dry to prevent moisture transferred to the cargo, made of good quality timber and not splintered or damaged, of sufficient thickness and dimensions to be fit for purpose for the particular steel cargoes being transported, and certified phytosanitary to ensure the wood is free of pests. Dunnage performs three basic functions in cargo stowage. It protects the ship's structure from deformation by spreading the load stress to a larger area, impact and other damage during loading and transportation. It separates cargo into different bundles or consignments. It protects cargo from being damaged by contact with other cargo or the ship's structure. It allows access for lashing, re-slinging, and discharge. The first layer of dunnage is laid on the tank top, hopper sides, and any bulkheads or frames that cargo may touch. This protects the cargo from mechanical damage against the ship's structure and vice versa. Floor dunnage protects the tank top and raises the cargo off the deck. This allows forklift or other access beneath the cargo when discharging. Dunnage laid on the ship's structure also helps prevent moisture damage of the cargo due to ship sweat as sweat rolls down the vessel's shell plating. As most steel cargoes are stowed fore and aft in the ship's hold, the first layer of dunnage is usually laid transversely. Suitable gaps must be left to allow drainage of sweat to the bilge wells. The second layer of dunnage between tiers of cargo separates cargo and fills any void spaces. It also allows access for re-slinging and discharge. All dunnage should be of dry wood, whose water content is no greater than 15%. Usually water content ranges from 12% to 15%. The dimensions or construction of dunnage used must be suitable for the loads likely to be imposed. Steel coils. For information on dunnaging of steel coils, please see Module 1 of this video series. Sheet steel packs. Because of the size of packs, double lines of dunnage should be laid transversely on tank tops and hopper sides before packs of sheet steel are loaded. Additional double lines of dunnage should be placed between each subsequent tier of cargo. Upright dunnage or constructed void-filling dunnage should occupy any spaces between packs of plates and/or ship's side. Steel girders and other constructional steel. These are always stowed in a fore and aft direction. Dunnage should therefore be laid transversely on tank tops and hopper sides. Dunnage should be laid at sufficient intervals along the length of the steel to prevent any bending or deformation. This is usually no more than 3 meters. Each tier of cargo should be separated by a layer of dunnage laid vertically above the previous layer. All voids between girders or packs of girders must be filled with dunnage. Dunnage must be used to bridge any gaps between the cargo and the ship's side. It is not uncommon to use between 7 and 10 tons of timber dunnage per 100 tons of constructional steel cargo. Girders should be stowed so that the flanges of each successive beam are alternately inside then outside the one below. Large diameter pipes. Large diameter pipes are relatively much less dense when compared to other steel cargoes. They also have a low coefficient of friction. They are stowed in a fore and aft direction in both the ship's hold and sometimes on deck. Double lines of transverse dunnage should be laid on tank tops, hopper sides, and on decks and hatch tops if to be used. The dunnage should be laid at sufficient intervals along the length of the pipes to prevent any bending or deformation. Each pipe should be loaded on this dunnage. A wedge is then jammed into place to the bottom dunnage on each side of the pipe to prevent it from rolling. Preferably, pipes should be stowed hard up against one another. Where the possibility of damage prevents this, they should be stowed as close as possible. Vertical dunnage is then wedged in to ensure the stow is solid and there is no room for movement of pipes. Any voids must be filled with dunnage constructed so as to resist the forces likely to be generated. Each successive tier should be stowed in the cant line of the tier below. Stows must not be too high, as this can cause compression damage of the pipes in lower tiers. It is recommended that steel cargoes are not stowed or carried on deck or hatch covers. In some cases, however, due to the configuration of the cargo or ship or other factors, carriage of steel cargoes on deck is unavoidable. When this is so, the dunnaging, lashing, and stowage arrangements and all other safety precautions and considerations must meet the requirements of the charterers responsible for stowage of the cargoes.